Good evening and welcome to Dear Joe TV. Thank you for joining us again tonight as we read another letter that deals with the fear of losing someone we love. Itong fear na to is very real. It can sometimes cripple us and render us helpless. And when we are overcome with this fear, we lose the precious opportunity to spend more time with the people we love. Dahil mas nagwo-worry tayo about what will happen when they're not around anymore, than making the most out of the time na kasama natin sila. Hi, I'm Joe the Mango. This is the story of Jen. Hello and welcome to another episode of Love Notes. Dear Joe, I'm writing this letter in the middle of the night. You know I should be studying right now for our examination tomorrow, but I can't seem to concentrate. Gusto kong matulog but this feeling keeps me awake almost every night for the past 5 months. Joe, I really don't know what to do. How can I put into words the pain and the fear that engulfs me now? My dad was diagnosed to have adenocarcinoma. Joe, it is the cancer of the lungs, and it came as a nightmare. I kept thinking this could not be happening to our family. I only see this in the movies. I cried. I cursed everyone. I talked to my relatives, some of my close friends, and to my boyfriend regarding this, but all they could give me was temporary relief. Joe, my dad is having his 4th chemotherapy as I write. Hindi pa rin namin alam kung anong mangyayari after this. Having a course in the line of medicine, I know that my dad still has a 50-50 chance of recovering. He's a brave man, and he's ready for the call of death. My mom and my sister have handled the situation perfectly and are willing to let go if ever life comes to a stop for my dad. Joe, I have always been Daddy's little girl, and I love him so much. Just the thought of living life without him makes me want to shout out loud and just cry. My dad might not live to see his grandchildren graduate in college. Chemotherapy will probably let him live for a few months, a few years. Who knows? Slowly and painfully, I'm seeing life's reality, and I feel so bitter about all of these. I'm not sure if I'm ready to face my fear. The fear of losing not only my dad, but also the people who I love so much. My mom, my sister, my boyfriend, my best friend. Joe, walang nakakaalam na kahit sino about this. Everyone thinks I'm only affected by my dad's condition. Yes, I am, but in a deeper and scarier meaning. Every day I wear this mask. I act and talk as if everything's okay. I do not dare breathe a word of this to anyone. Nobody would understand. Joe, people comforted me. They promised that they'll never leave me. It made a lot of assurance. I tried so hard to believe them. But I am aware of the fact that sooner or later, I have to let go of a special part of my life. I always flash my brilliant smile and act happy whenever there are people around. But when I'm alone, I feel so scared. Scared of loving, scared of caring, scared of losing. Joe, this has affected my relationship with my boyfriend John, whom I'm starting to love very much. This feeling scares the hell out of me. I want to keep my distance. I try not to care too much. Why? Because when we learn to care, we become dependent on that feeling. Love grows deeper. And when someone or something takes that person away, we are left powerless, helpless, like a little child. Joe, all I want to do right now is retreat in my own world. I want to lock myself in it and never come out. I just want to be alone. I love my dad so much, but sooner or later, he will be taken away from me. And now I realize I have loved John equally, but I'm afraid I'm going to lose him as well. Joe, I do not know what to do. I wish I was just in grade school when things are not complicated and life was fun. Good night, Joe. My tears have fallen once more, and I'm feeling a lot better, at least for now. Joe, please tell me what to do. I plan to just lock myself inside until I am able to understand why all of this is happening. Thank you in advance, and may your program always remain as a source of inspiration to many lost souls like mine. Sincerely yours, Jen.
Sometimes letting it out can make a big difference. Oh yes. And sometimes you gotta let your heart speak. You gotta let your heart speak. You gotta let it out. No matter what you're going through. Yeah. I know how you feel. I know it's hard to reveal. But let your heart speak. 6 days sing it. It's true. It's not knows. Joe, the pain goes not knows. It's true. Joe, the pain goes not knows. Yeah.
Jen, alam kong hindi madaling sumulat this time, but I thank you for sharing your beautiful story with us tonight. One of man's greatest fears is the fear of death. Kasama na dito yung fear of losing yung mga taong mahal natin sa buhay. The past 2 years have been very, very difficult for a lot of us. Never in my lifetime have I experienced personally knowing people who have lost their loved ones in this pandemic. If you find yourself in a similar situation as Jen, first, you have to recognize that death-related fears are normal. Tayong lahat at one point in our lives would come face to face with the fear of losing someone we love. Hindi natin ito maiiwasan. Something that we need to accept as a part of our life. Jen, the reality of cancer or any terminal sickness is you can only do as much to help your dad. Beyond that, you're not in control of how long he would live. His life is in the hands of God. Ang pwede mong gawin is just to make the most out of the time that you can spend with your dad. Healthfully deal with your own sadness and seek help and support for your depression. Jen, set aside the time para alagaan mong sarili mo. Instead of fearing about what will happen tomorrow, shift mo yung focus mo to the here and now and what you can do in this moment, both for your dad and for yourself. Your mom and your sister may seem like they're ready and willing to let go. But I don't think none of you can ever be completely prepared for that day. I know it's easier said than practiced, but we just have to learn to let go of the things that we cannot control. Kung nagawa na natin lahat ng pwede nating gawin in this time to the best of our ability, then the only thing that we can do is surrender everything else in prayer and trust and believe that God's purpose for allowing us to go through this experience is something for His glory and for our good. Jen, your dad is about to let go of your hand, the hand that he lovingly guided for so many years. But he will do that hindi dahil gusto kanyang iwan, but because he wants you to be strong, to be able to stand on your own feet and live the life that you are meant to live. Your dad needs you to be strong for Him. Thank you, Jen, at na-share mo yung pinaka-intimate thoughts mo about your dad. I know it wasn't easy, but recognizing these emotions and how real they are to you are the first steps to acceptance. To accept fear, to accept pain, and accept the loss. That loss as a part of our life. It is also important para sa akin to have a thankful attitude in the midst of all of this. You may lose your dad one day, but God has still given you the opportunity to spend time with Him now, and this is precious. Let us be thankful for every moment that we get to spend with the people we love. Sabihin mo sa Kanya kung gaano mo siya kamahal at kung gaano siya kahalaga sa buhay mo. Be thankful that God has allowed him to experience life with you, with the people he loves, and the people who loves him and treasures him. We are not immortal. Death can call us anytime it wants. When your dad goes, you just have to accept that fact. That is where his line is drawn. But hopefully, not the line where life stops. It is the line where not only his life can begin, but yours as well. Jen, there's no point living in a shell. All there is in it is loneliness and misery. You don't want to be miserable all your life. God has blessed you with a wonderful father, and you should be thankful for that. And someday, all of the tears that fall from our eyes will make sense. And we will all realize that everything that happened in our lives, good and bad, all happened for a reason. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Sabi sa Bible, Jen, so with you, now is your time of grief, but I will see you again, and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. Do not keep your tears inside. Kung kailangan mong umiyak, umiyak ka. God doesn't mind. Para sa Kanya, it's okay not to be okay. There will always be a season and a time for everything. We cannot tell the sun to come out in the middle of the night or ask the rain to stop in the middle of the storm. But we can always have faith and remember that in the midst of darkness and the fury of the storm, there will always be a dawn of hope and a rainbow of promise to remind us that God will make everything beautiful in His time. Thank you for joining us tonight. Don't forget to leave a word of encouragement or prayer for Jen sa comments natin and everyone else who might be going through a difficult time in their lives. God bless you all. Stay safe and see you again next week here on Dear Joe TV.